All right, traders, the green streak continues. I'm going to be breaking down the trades that were made today within Team Roar and within Trader Society. And I'm going to be breaking down one of the trading strategies I was using to profit off of the 30-minute confirmation that I was seeing to make multiple 100% profit returns on SPX calls right before the market closed. Let's get straight into the analysis. So in terms of Team Roar, G-Roar ended up alerting 2 trades today. As you could see, his first one was let's buy 155 Amazon calls for 55 cents. That was alerted at 9:33 a.m. Just 11 minutes later, he ended up exiting those calls at 92 cents a contract. With that being said, you can see he recapped the trade. Now, in terms of the second trade, it was at 3:01 p.m. He said, let's buy 4780 SPX puts for 110 cents. As soon as power hour started, he decided to buy 4780 SPX puts with expectation of some profit taking, thinking that it was going to go in the money as he had clearly stated. As you can see, those contracts quickly went to 225 a contract, making over 100% profit return. He ended up adding at 3:12 p.m. at 90 cents a contract. And then right here, he said sell the dips or risk it all and hold. And then in terms of selling, he ended up exiting right here in the 500 a contract range. Imagine risking just $100 a contract to make $500 back on the contracts. His 95% success rate continues. And then as you can see, he quickly recapped the trade, giving you the clear entry, adding signals, the lines and indicators that he's using within the chart. And also, these contracts went all the way to 1,150. In that situation, you could have been risking $100 a contract to make over $1,100. The puts went up over 1,000% from his entry in less than one single hour. That is the power of trading far out of money SPX contracts during power hour. Now, with that being said, let's take a look at the trades that I ended up making today. So in terms of my main focus as a trader during 2024 is to mainly trade during 3 to 4 p.m. I am currently managing a couple different private businesses, and I am also investing heavily into stocks and into leap options that are far out of the money on a lot of the stocks that I'm investing into. And the reason why is I strongly believe within the next 2 years, it's going to be a window to make a fortune if you are investing into the right stocks and if you are buying far out of the money leap options. That's going to be a new business that I'm also launching very, very soon. Now, with that being said, I have a lot going on, and I thought about in terms of my life and in terms of my situation, I'm going to be laser focused in terms of day trading to simply master 3 to 4 p.m. What I love about Power Hour is the contracts are the cheapest. And if you're buying far out of the money on SPX or on SPY, you can quickly make multiple 100% profit returns in just a couple of minutes, literally within 10 minutes, especially if you're trading during that 3:45 to 4 p.m. window like I was doing today. So that's my main focus, man. It's just crazy how you can just wake up any time of the day you want. And then if you like, you can just trade past 3 p.m., make multiple 100% profit return on the contracts, and then just do whatever you want to do in terms of your life. So in terms of the trades that I made today, I did take one trade before power hour. These contracts did go up about 20%. All the people that I saw take these contracts, they said they took their profits. I was holding for the bigger win, and I did end up losing 35% on 2 of the contracts that I did take. But I made an absolute killing, and I flipped green on the day during power hour, and we'll get on that. But you could see 11:15 a.m., I was buying SPY puts, and then 11:23 a.m., I was buying SPX puts, and then I exited all my puts at 12:14 p.m. for a 35% loss on those contracts. Now, in terms of 3:33 p.m. into power hour, this is what I decided to do. Take a look at this. If you watched last night's video, you are well aware G-Roar crushed it on SPX puts during power hour. And then I crushed it on SPX calls when he was done buying the puts. And the same exact thing happened today. History repeated itself. Take a look at these trades. So the first trade I took during power hour was on 4780 SPX calls at 378 contract, right? And then I said, let's add a 3. And then I said, let's add a 2. So it dropped nearly 50% from my entry, and I was averaging my cost down. And then right here at 3:44 p.m., I said, let's buy heavily 4775 SPX calls at 350 a contract. If these don't go up 100%, then today's not Wednesday. So I was extremely confident that those contracts were going to print. So instead of just consistently adding to the 4780 strike, which was very far out of the money at that point since SPX was dropping and those contracts were decaying, I decided to buy another strike and hold these as well and go very heavy on this 4775 strike, because at the time, that's the one that I strongly believed was going to print and the safest route to go for a 100% profit return. And then right here, as those contracts began to drop, I was adding at 320, and I even added to 4780 calls at $1.50. And then I said very, very clearly, I'm sized heaviest in 4775. I've seen this before. SPX will close strong. 4775 is the play. 4780 is the YOLO. The extremely cheap contracts, the ones that are much further out of the money, that became the YOLO. Now, with that being said, 4775, I ended up adding more at $2.80 a contract. And then right here at 3:50 p.m., at the exact lows, I bought my third strike. I said, let's buy 4770 SPX calls at $3.70. And then I also added to 4775 calls at $1.25. I ended up selling 477 calls at $10 a contract. My average was 370. I got in towards the exact lows on that 1 minute candle right before it exploded. And then 4775 calls, my average was 250. I sold at 530. And then the other calls, since I averaged down, I ended up selling at $3 a range right before the market closed. These contracts, as you can see, the ones that I alerted right here at 3:50 p.m., literally 10 minutes before the market closed, take a look at them. This is 4770 strike. You see this right here, 3:50 p.m.? This is the biggest fucking volume spike you're going to see during this time. As soon as I enter these contracts, take a look at this. At 3:50 p.m., the volume was over 720. The exact low was 264. Just 5 minutes later, they went all the way to 1100 a contract, from 264 to 1100 a contract. And they closed strong at the highs, just like I had stated that I'm expecting SPX to close very, very strong, and I'm looking to hold till the close. See, this is the crazy part. This is the beauty of the fucking Roar fucking fuse. Take a look what the Roar chat had to say about this one, man. Let me show you what happened within the Roar chat. Look at this, man. The heart of cards do it for Will. Look at this. At 3:47 p.m., the heart of cards do it for Will. Take a look at this fucking W. That's all we're fucking doing is winning over here, man. Look at this. Right here, he clearly drew out that the heart of cards was going to do it. It was going to have a massive spike. He saw it coming. He ended up taking that trade as well. And then I said at 3:47 p.m., that's exactly what will happen. If you don't have the heart of cards, then you don't have nothing in life, man. I'm telling you, this heart of cards is truly life-changing, and you could just visually see I got in towards the exact lows, and just 5 minutes later, it goes to $1,000 a contract. And then take a look at the 4775s. This was the one I was in heaviest. Take a look at this one. It bottomed at 80 cents, and it closed literally hitting $1,000 a contract at the highs. And even the 4780s, these hit $4 a contract. My initial entry was at 370, and I was averaging down under the twos. Every single strike went deep in the money, man. So we want to know who trades like us, man. We say it all the time. We say it all the time within the chat. Who is trading like us, man? We make it very, very clear. Just look at the option chain, man. Look at this. The best fusion. Fuck the brokies, man. Fuck them. Look at that. The exact W pattern happened. And I was adding at the lows. And I even picked up the 4770 strike, literally at the exact lows on the 1 minute candle. And SPX exploded, man. So we want to know, three strikes went deep in the money, man. Who the fuck is trading like us, man? Who prints like us? Look at these quotes. The ask on that trade that I bought at 370, the ask was at 17 at one point. 370 to 1700. This is exactly why I'm focused on mastering the trading session of 3 to 4 p.m. Because like I said, I also have a lot going on with my life at this current point in time. You know, I have multiple businesses to manage. I also have to promote my businesses, and I have a lot going on within my personal life. So there's a lot going on. So I figured 3 to 4 p.m. could be the best possible time that I could fucking master within the markets. I'm going to be known as the best options power hour trader. Mark my words. You saw what I did yesterday, and history has repeated itself. So I will see you all tomorrow within Team Roar and within Trader Society. I have to get back to my private organization. If you do want to join Team Roar, it's the first link down below within the description. You will get access to trading with G Roar, and you also get access to the Roar chat. That is the team members within Team Roar. With that being said, in terms of just to give you a quick strategy of what I saw on those trades with SPX, it's very simple. Take a look at this, man. I was using the 30-minute chart. I've been teaching this strategy for years, along with the gap trading strategy. This stuff's all on my channel. So I was looking at the 30-minute chart, and I said, okay, there's a green bullish 30-minute candlestick right here, and then there's a red bearish 30-minute candlestick right here, and it closes in the middle, right? So then I said, okay, there's a green bullish 30-minute candlestick right here, and then there's a red bearish 30-minute candlestick that closes in the middle. See how the same pattern is repeating for an hour straight? So then what happens the next 30 minutes? Well, the next 30 minutes, you can see the SPY dropped lower than the previous 30-minute candle. You see how it went lower, and then what did it do? It recovered, and it closed strong at the highs. So I was planning to buy my SPX calls once SPY dropped below this 30-minute pattern. At 475.89, once it drops below this previous 30-minute candle, I was planning to start buying the call options. Now, in terms of history, it didn't exactly repeat itself. This was the main difference this time. The main difference was this time, last time it wasn't as volatile. The move wasn't as big. You can see last time it had a small drop under and then it recovered, right? So that is one of the reasons why I got in a little bit too early, is because I wasn't anticipating it to have such a massive drop, but I made sure that I sized in heavily on the other two strikes. And even my first strike, which is the one that became the YOLO, still printed. It went from the 1s to the 4s. It even went above my initial entry at 370, closing literally at 390. So all three of the contracts went deep in the money. History repeated in a very similar cycle. The only difference was, instead of having a small drop, it had a much bigger drop than I anticipated. However, in terms of zones, I was still expecting history to repeat itself, and I was still expecting it to have a very, very strong close. So I looked at it as a situation where this is an opportunity to make a lot of money, since it had such a bigger drop in such a short period of time. If you buy the other strikes and you size in nicely, you can make a massive return in such a short period of time. So I looked at it as a gift, because the pattern said it was going to close strong at the highs. It just dropped a little bit more than we had expected it to, but the timing was aligned. You'll see a lot in terms of the timing of these reversals with these 30-minute candles, right? Because it dropped first, which is what I was expecting it to do. You'll see a lot of reversals happen in between the 15-minute to 10-minute closing half, 3:45 p.m., 3:50 p.m., a lot of reversals. And in terms of entries as well, I was looking at previous resistance. I said, okay, what are the previous resistance levels? Well, on SPY, 475.34, there's some previous resistance right here. There's also some previous resistance at 474.80. So that was my overall zone, where I just have to go crazy on all the SPX contracts and go heavy for that previous resistance level to react as a support level, since the SPY had such a massive breakout above that resistance level and then quickly fell back down to that previous resistance, retesting basically for the first time. So those were some of the plays. And like I said, man, this is a very advanced trading strategy that I'm working on with SPX and SPY. You'll see, even on SPX, some of the patterns don't look the same. It's crazy. Some of the patterns that I use are not the same. I'll look at a pattern on SPY and it looks different on SPX, but I'll make the trade on SPX because SPX has 3 strikes in between. There's like a 4.760, a 4.765, and a 4.770. With SPY, it's like 4.76 and 4.770. There's no strike in between. So if you learn this thing you could do with the strike in between, you can make a massive print if it's at the right price, man. So it gets advanced. Like I said, I don't have the time to go all over this stuff. But with that being said, that's what I'm going to be sharing with you within this video. And if you do want to join Team Roar, and trade inside of Team Roar with G Roar. I am also in the chat. I do alert some of my trades there as well. That's going to be the first link down below in the description, and that is the opportunity that we have for you at this specific time. It is a monthly recurring subscription. You can cancel it at any time. I would strongly recommend you try out the program, especially if you have above $5,000 to trade with. With that being said, I'm going to be signing off this video. I have to get back to my private organizations.